Diane fires out that she loves you, she does. She really, really does. She really, really thinks that she does.
That's
whatever.
not true. But
Diane,
some women say I love you and they don't realize that they do not love. They may be infatuated with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they may not
they love
you.
the situation.
But she may not realize
they
that.
They may love you than love.
Erica, who's dated every reality television guy on Big Brother since whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
For the past 5 years.
I'm just kidding. But Erica knows herself. Erica knows her likes and dislikes. Erica knows her common interests. And if Erica says, you know what, I love this guy, it's because there's this common ground or whatever, and Erica really... Unless...
But I know as many crazy 40-year-olds as I know crazy 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
You don't get a date and all of a sudden
Stars
you
and
get
garters, because they get into this crazy neighborhood where now they feel like they own their universe.
Baby.
You know what I mean? And then you really got to like you really got to come to the table with everything. When a woman is actually, and I'm not saying that you're not a woman yet, but you know what I mean? When that woman hits her peak and she's been making her own money and she's been living her own life and she's been doing her thing, and I think you would say this about Erin, when she is ready to step up to the table, you have got to bring it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to bring your A game.
Absolutely.
She doesn't play like...
So you're right. So in a way, you are right. When that woman says, I'm in love with you, it does seem like it's more serious. It does seem like it's more of a step up to the plate or get the hell out.
Right.
Because she's not going to hang out. She doesn't have as much time to sort of hang out and see if this is going to become something else as the younger girl does, because she's like, okay, well, I don't really know what next to expect with love.
I have to interject for one moment. I just want everyone to realize something. Maybe I'm the only one here. What's going on right here is what this show is about. It's not about, no, seriously, it's not about the little dumbass contest bobbing for rats.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Life
way of
experience.
opening up your mind and hearing other people's
I was
thoughts.
thinking about that too much. This is what it's all about.
This is Big Brother.
This is Big
And if you see
Brother.
me bobbing for a rat, that's a joke. That's not Big Brother.
The competitions are just the pillars within the game.
Right.
But we all from different
Wilder just
backgrounds, and it's
explained it last year.
interesting to have a community like that. I mean, just everyone giving up their information, their experience, their input, and I love this. I can do this all day.
I mean, I think the bottom line is that, you know, a woman in her 30s knows what she wants, knows how to get it, and, you know, and a woman in her 20s is still trying to figure out what that is.
Or not. Hypothetically, that woman in her 30s should, and hypothetically, that girl in her 20s should be still trying to find herself.
No, you should be. Like, I know, I look back when I was 24, and I didn't know what I wanted. And I knew that was where I should be in my 20s.
But you thought you knew what you did. At the time, you thought you knew what you wanted.
In my 20s, I totally thought I did.
Me too.
Looking back on it in retrospect, I go, I had no fucking idea what the fuck was going on in my 20s. You know, I mean, I think that's only, you know, they call it the turbulent 20s because that's what it is. It's a time of figuring out who you are, you know, what you want, and how to get it.
Marcel's question.
Okay. Do we really think that there's this huge growing curve just because age passes or because events happen?
Absolutely. No. I think it has a lot to do with age. Absolutely. Life experience, of course, is definitely part of it, but absolutely age is
okay, then let me ask this. As the physician in the
be
group, if age is involved, is there a hormonal change as well? Let's break it down on a minute level.
I'm sure.
Is there biological hormonal changes?
I mean, everyone says there's a biological
has
with
something.
women.
I think a lot of times I'm considered a pretty mature guy, but I definitely have to agree with Eric. As someone who's 25, there's a lot of stuff I'm still trying to figure out and trying to get to. And in terms of relationships in any sort of level, be it with my parents, or be it with friends, or trying to find that perfect someone. It's like I'm struggling with trying to figure out myself. Absolutely. And that's the big problem. Because if you don't have a solid foundation to work from, I can't go and extend myself to somebody, because eventually someone's going to ask, well, what are you all about? And then I'm going to have a big, stupid look on my face.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, but when do you ever completely, utterly, totally know what you're all about?
Once you start tapering off in your 20s, you really start settling into exactly
who you are.
You're not going to change as much.
I don't believe in the age. I don't believe in the passage of time learning curve.
It's not. It's not the
only life
time, but it's
experience. It's life experience with the passing of time. I mean, hopefully you don't live in a bubble where you're not, you know, experiencing people and lessons. And
most people, the hardest thing
life.
for any human being to do is to change. Most people live in that bubble. Most people are in that moment, just in that moment. They have their own little circle of friends, and their circle of friends are their friends because they have their own thing. You're not growing. It's events that force you to change, that force you to look at something differently. Those are the things that make you grow as a person. It's
and that
not
only
like,
happens with time, though, Marcellus.
Well,
I mean, I don't think you're. I don't
you
think
guys
you're
are arguing the
presented
same
with
point.
Yeah,
It's events. I think it's
with
events and time, and for each
Yeah, it
person,
is.
it's more than.
I just don't like
Coincide.
the idea that because somebody is 34, that makes them like smarter just because they're 34 than because they are 24.
No, but they're presented with more life experience because they've had 10 years.
Or not,
of
because
experience.
as I said,
You have
people
to have
constantly
failure.
live in their own bubble. So unless something happens to make you change or get outside of that, the same as 20. Just because you're 27 doesn't mean that 34 you changed in some way. You same way, because nothing has ever forced her to get outside of being different.
And what
presenting
do
the
you
exception
think
to the
takes to
rule.
force
You are
someone?
exactly. I think you're. I agree.
That's the exception to the rule.
That's
And we're talking.
exception to
We
the
can't pinpoint exact circumstances or people right at this point, but we're talking about like the general.
Do you guys feel
Public.
like it's heartbreak, disappointment? Gets a person-
Heartbreak absolutely causes change, a
Absolutely.
new way of thinking.
A new way of
Absolutely.
thinking. Amen.
Will and I kind of talked about this when we were up in the HH room, like whatever, kind of when we were talking with Howie. We were all kind of there, like whatever. But like, you get to a point as a guy to where